kids' mom want me to fail, cause my achievements, her disagreements. The gum shoes on my trail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. The diamond tester said you fell. My hands full, nigga, leaving Neiman's. Real niggas gon' prevail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. My kids' mom want me to fail, cause my achievements, her disagreements. The gum shoes on my trail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. The diamond tester said you fell. My hands full, nigga, leaving Neiman's. Real niggas gon' prevail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. Bitter bitches on the timeline, foreign going through the stop sign. I don't do what? Stop line. Check the text, check the timeline. You're still playing like Brian. Fake tough niggas still dying. Black mothers in the church crying. No flight attendant but the work flying. See my story, see a nigga shining. Designer threads, 5-star dining. 1911 in the silver lining. I'm with the suppliers, man, them niggas is biased. That mean I pay like I weigh. Told a bitch I came heavy in a good way. Don't concern myself with bum bitches say, man, I upgraded you like yesterday. My kids' mom want me to fail, cause my achievements, her disagreements. The gum shoes on my trail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. The diamond tester said you fell. My hands full, nigga, leaving Neiman's. Real niggas gon' prevail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. My kids' mom want me to fail, cause my achievements, her disagreements. The gum shoes on my trail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. The diamond tester said you fell. My hands full, nigga, leaving Neiman's. Real niggas gon' prevail, cause my achievements, they disagreements. Broke bitch with a BBL, you's a big booty loser. Wouldn't let you touch this ruler. Your mind state the sewer, a reflection how you grew up. Take that energy, you should level up. Back to black and black trucks, all the ghetto bitches looking starstruck. Type hoes only good to fuck, type hoes niggas standing up. Boss bitches only stand with us, clean kitchen in the Goyard clutch. I build with her and we rarely fuss. You can learn from this cause it's all trust. I deserve this shit, at the top is us. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Lord Brunson, back at you with the back at you. And I am the best reporting on the Eagles. The song you just heard was Disagreements off my latest project of Broken Crayon Still Colors. I should have it back up on Spotify this week, but it's on every other streaming platform except Spotify. Latest body of work. I got the title from AJ Brown. D'Angelo Xavier's on the project. It's just, the project is just crazy, man. My best project to date, my latest project to date. Definitely go and check that out, man. So the boys was back practicing today, man. The boys was back practicing today, and we got a lot of stuff that came out of practice, man. A lot of stuff that came out of practice. At the end of the day, I feel like that Jalen Hurts is putting together a fantastic practice. Let me go to Shore Parks real quick. Shore Parks gives like little grades and stuff like that. I really don't be interested in what Shore Parks got to say, but I just know he got the stats on practice. You know what I mean? It was an excellent practice, man. So far, I think it's been an excellent training camp for Jalen Hurts. He's been efficient from what I've been seeing. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts today, he gave him a grade of a C, 15 for 24, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's not a bad day for me, but from what we're used to seeing so far in Jalen Hurts in training camp, one could argue that this was his most down camp, so to speak, but also a positive. This is the first time he's threw a few touchdown passes in camp. He hasn't thrown any interceptions all camp. He's been sharp. He's been making the plays that he's supposed to make. He's been taking care of the ball all camp, but now he threw the touchdown passes. My take so far through 3 camps for Jalen Hurts is very simple. He is focused on taking care of the ball. He's focused on taking care of the ball, and I think that that's the baseline to winning big games if you want to keep it a bean. If you could take care of the ball, you know what I'm saying, then you could win big games. You could win big games if you could take care of the ball. That makes your job that much easier as a starting quarterback. We see that is what plagued a lot of these teams through the postseason this year. A lot of guys that lost turned the ball over. Give me a quarterback that lost in the postseason this year that didn't turn the ball over. Give me the quarterback that lost. Patrick Mahomes lost in the Super Bowl. They turned the ball over. Lamar Jackson, when they got eliminated, Lamar Jackson turned the ball over. When Jared Goff and them got packed up, Jared Goff turned the ball over. Jaden Daniels turned the ball over against the Eagles. You know what I mean? He threw an interception. Josh Allen, I believe he turned the ball over. I don't know if Josh Allen turned the ball over against the Chiefs, but They lost, you know what I mean? And I want to say Josh Allen turned the ball over in that game. The common theme is when you turn the ball over as a quarterback in the playoffs, you could end up going home. And Jalen Hurts has practiced turnovers. He's practiced what to do and what not to do in these situations, man. And that's taking care of the ball. I want to talk a bit about the impact of Jalen Hurts real fast on his teammates from a teammate perspective. You know what I mean? From a teammate perspective, I want to talk about Jalen Hurts' impact. Let me pull up a couple of his teammate stats real quick. Now, I want to talk about, the big three, Saquon, AJ, and Smitty. I want to talk about the stats of the big three for a minute. Let me find Smitty stats, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll. I want to talk about the big three, man. And this is being overlooked, in my opinion. It's being overlooked, and it's quite nasty. It's very nasty, man. You got a lot of people who just don't like Jalen Hurts, and they have been making things up. These running narratives and these things we've been seeing so far are all about Jalen Hurts has this guy, he has this guy, he has this guy. That's what the narratives are about so far. But I want to look at where these guys were before Jalen Hurts was the quarterback. I think it's important. I think it's extremely important to talk about where these guys were before Jalen Hurts was the quarterback. Let's start with Arthur Juan Brown. Let's start with AJ Brown real quick. Let's go to his stats. We got all the years right here. I'm gonna pull this up. Let's get to it, man. Let's really get to the nitty-gritty of this real quick. You got AJ Brown stats right up here on the screen. Before AJ Brown came to Philadelphia, he was a bona fide 1,000-yard receiver guy. His first 2 years, 1,000 yards with Tennessee on a rookie deal. He only played 13 games in 2021, 1,000 yards. But when you talk about getting to 1496, a career high in receptions to that point with 88. When you talk about getting to 1496, a career high in receptions, then you're talking about now is this guy elite. Nobody thought of AJ Brown being elite until his first year playing with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback. Career high in yards per catch, tied his career high in touchdown receptions. You know what I'm saying? Career high in receptions, all of that good stuff with AJ Brown. Then he doubles down and has another 1,400-yard season, but with 106 receptions. 106 receptions. That last year was a bit of a down year for AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 yards, a bit of a down year for AJ Brown. Played 13 games, but the last time he played 13 games, he was not even able to get 900 yards. But with Jalen Hurts, 1,000 yards in 13 games. AJ Brown has become a top 5 wide receiver, you guessed it, by playing with Jalen Hurts. It's as simple as that. Let's get to Saquon Barkley. Let's get to Saquon Barkley now. Since, a lot of people might need a reminder. You know what I mean? I want to get to Saquon real quick. A lot of people might need a reminder. Let's on in his stats. Sorry for all this crazy stuff they got going on in the background on this page. But let's get to Saquon and his stats. We know what Saquon was bringing to the table, man. Rookie year, 1,300 rushing yards. 1,000 rushing yards 2019. Tore the ACL third year. Bounced back from the ACL the fourth year. Back to full strength, I'd say 2022. 2023, not 1,000 yards. And in 2024, he ran for 2,000 yards with the most carries in his life. Played all 16 games. The most carry. He was labeled as washed, injury, had a career high in touchdown rushes and a career high in carries, and 2,000 yards. Became the 9th player in NFL. We know the season Saquon Barkley had. We know the season Saquon Barkley had. We know it. You know what I mean? So we just know. But this is no coincidence that this is happening with now all of a sudden. Now you got the best running back in the league. Now you got AJ Brown, top 5 wide receiver in the league, easily. And now let's talk about Devontae Smith. But what's special about Devontae Smith is this. What's special about Smitty is this. I think Devontae Smith might be one of the most special cases. I'm gonna get to that super chat in a minute. I think Smitty might have one of the most special cases, if you ask me. Smitty came in, broke the Sean record with Jalen, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He played 13 games, was able to get 800 yards. Smitty is consistently a 7-touchdown-a-year guy. He had a career high in touchdown catches last week. This is all with Jalen Hurts. All with Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith averages 1,000 yards a season on average. He's played 4 seasons so far, and he has 4,000 yards. That's an average of 1,000 yards. This is all with Jalen Hurts as being his quarterback while playing with A.J. Brown. But the rarest thing about this Devontae Smith situation is that Devontae Smith is the leading receiver in Philadelphia Eagles history for playoff yardage. The leading receiver. Irvin Fryer don't got more than him. T.O. don't got more playoff yards than him. A.J. Brown don't got more playoff. A.J. probably can't be far off. A.J. Brown don't got more playoff yards than him. Harold Michael. Nobody has more playoff. Devontae Smith only been in the league for 4 years. He's had the same quarterback, and he's the franchise leader in Philadelphia Eagles history for playoff yards. I'm not understanding that. How people don't draw the comparison that it's from the quarterback as well. Dre, thank you for the super chat. Cam keep using his MVP as an attack on Hurts, but fail to realize Drew Brees is an automatic Hall of Famer without the MVP, and Hall of Fame is possible without MVP. Haters try to trick Hurts on the spot, but you know the Cam Newton thing to me is it's kind of a moot point to me at this point, man. The Cam Newton thing to me it's a moot point, man. I mean, this is what's interesting about Cam Newton, and from what I was just saying. Let's pull up Cam Newton stats. Let's pull up Cam stats real quick. This is what's interesting about this Cam Newton thing to me. When I look at Cam Newton, I see a guy who came into the NFL in 2021, right? Hold on, let me pull up real quick. Here we go. I see a guy who came into the NFL in 2011. I'm sorry, not 2021. Where's it at? 2011. I see a guy that came into the NFL. Cam Newton. Campbell Newton. 2011. Came into the NFL. Cam Newton has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight seasons. His first 8 seasons in the National Football League, he threw for 10 or more interceptions. His first 8 seasons as a franchise quarterback, he threw for 10 or more interceptions. 17, 12, 13, 12, 10, 14, 16, 13. Cam Newton has 123 interceptions in his career, man. In his career. Cam Newton is one of the most inaccurate passers of the football in NFL history, man. In NFL history. Cam Newton's interception track record per season. I understand what it was. I understand what Cam. I understand. I remember the issues and questions around Cam Newton. A lot of people want to act like they forgot. I remember, man, the inaccuracy, the bad mechanics, and all of that stuff. And at this point, I am inclined to believe, since everybody likes to use hypotheticals, oh, Cam Newton would have did this with the Eagles roster, would have did that with the Eagles roster. Bro, we would never know. We would never know, bro. Now my mentions is filled with people that are saying Devin Funchess was his number 1 wide receiver. Devin Funchess was his number 1 wide receiver. Everybody want to blame these wide receivers. I think it's pathetic, man. I think it's pathetic because at the end of the day, blaming pros that you play with and saying you couldn't get it done because of those guys, I think that's weak behavior because those guys are pros. What does that say about the guys that you bet? Y'all was 15-1 together. And you mean to tell me you ain't win a Super Bowl because of those guys, because of the talent around you? I hate these narratives, bro. The talent around you is good enough to get you to 15-1 into a Super Bowl. But it's the talent fault that you don't, as the quarterback, obtain the ultimate goal, the mission. It's the talent fault that you had the ball last in your hands. Down 6, 4 minutes to go, all 3 timeouts. You fumbled and you don't jump on. That's the talent fault? No, bro, no. No, I don't have to take the moral high road that NFL analysts have to take. I don't have to do that, bro. It was a lack of heart. He left his cape home, and he the reason why the Panthers organization don't got a ring. I guess we'll never know what would have happened if you played here. We will never know, bro. We will never know. They act like every talented roster wins the Super Bowl. They don't. Every roster in the NFL is talented. Some just not as talented as others. The 18-1 Patriots ain't win a Super Bowl. They lost to a way less talented Giants team. Sometimes it's about heart. Sometimes it's about heart, man. My guy Spilled Milk, thanks for the super chat. They hate us because they ain't us LB. Hurts top 2. I got Hurts in my top 2, man. I don't care what nobody say. It don't matter what nobody say. I'm justified in my Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? In my Jalen Hurts evaluation, because the man just won the Bull. I'm justified in it. You know what I mean? I'm justified in it. Like Cam and them, man. Listen, man, y'all could. There you go. you know. I remember the memes. The Carolina fans who are on social media telling me I'm crazy for saying Jalen Hurts would have won Super Bowl 50. Do you know what Von Miller was doing? Von Miller was unstoppable. That Broncos defense was unstoppable. So is Spags in the Chiefs defense. And I saw Jalen Hurts put them in the blender twice. Y'all acting like y'all ain't see that. The only reason why Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP is because Peyton Manning had a broken neck and a burnt out shoulder. Peyton Manning had a burnt out shoulder and a broken neck. That's the only reason why he didn't get Super Bowl MVP. The only reason why. Jalen Hurts would have played way better. And then they say you wouldn't take Jalen Hurts over Prime. Where is Prime Cam Newton? Which Cam Newton is Prime Cam Newton, bro? The one that ain't jump on the fumble in the Super Bowl, the one at MVP, that's Prime Cam Newton? That's Prime Cam Newton. That MVP stuff don't mean nothing, bro. Didn't Rich Gannon win MVP? And you know what? Michael Jordan had a real... Michael Jordan said something real. I want to play that to y'all. Michael Jordan had the realest thing to say about... I think I seen Tom post it. The realest thing to say about championships and stats. Championships versus stats. The absolute realest thing to say about championships versus stats. Michael Jordan put it up there. I gotta find it. Here you go, right here.
Statistical place in the NBA have on you? What impact is your statistical place in the NBA have on you?
Well, that never drove me. You know what I mean? The stats only add up when you put forth the effort and you don't worry about it. You know, good things happen to those people that work hard. If I sit here and play for the stats, I would have never retired in 93. Or I still probably be chasing Wilt Chamberlain's all-time, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time scoring lead. I mean, that doesn't drive me. I mean, sure, it defines to some extent for people who don't know me on, 20 years from now would never know who Michael Jordan really is. But based on the stats, he must have been pretty decent. Those are only ways that I look at stats. Other than that, it's all about winning championships and winning. Stats that matter to me is the games that we win and the rings that you collect.
Listen, man. Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear what he said?
What impact is your statistic?
Did y'all hear what he said? I'm not sure people heard what he said. He just said stats might matter 20 years from now when people are looking at stats and who people might never know me and say, damn, I don't know who he is, but he must have been really good based on the stats. But when you got rings, they remember your name. People will not remember Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers just retired this year. I guarantee you 90% of people in the world thought Phillip Rivers been retired. He just retired this year, y'all. He just retired this year. I guarantee you 90% of y'all thought Phillip Rivers been retired. In 5 years, nobody will remember Phillip Rivers' name. Nobody will remember Phillip Rivers' name in 5 years. Nobody will remember Matt Ryan's name in 5 years. We forgot about Cam Newton until he just started talking foolish. This is just facts, bruh. If Eli Manning didn't win his 2 Super Bowls, we would not remember his name. I'm just keeping it a bean. We barely remember Tony Romo. We will not remember Dak Prescott's name. He will not win a championship. We will not remember Kirk Cousins' name. This is the facts, bruh. What immortalizes you in this game is championships. That's why Terry Bradshaw still got a job. That's why Jimmy Johnson got a job on Fox. Michael Strahan, all of these broadcasters, that's why these guys have jobs. Shannon Sharp, because they are champions. Tom Brady, champions. Champions. Nobody will remember half of these guys who don't win championships. After 5 years, you're forgotten. You're forgotten after 5 years. Foles is more immortalized than Phillip Rivers. They can't put a Phillip Rivers statue outside the stadium because he didn't win nothing. Foles will be more immortalized than Phillip Rivers. Make that make sense. And you want to know why? Because Foles is a champion and a Super Bowl MVP. Foles is a legend. Josh Allen, if he don't win a Super Bowl, it will take probably Josh Allen about 10 years to be. Lamar, his name will stick around a little long because they're the MVPs. Lamar name, if you don't win a Super Bowl, might stick around for 15 years. Just because of the electricity that he brought to the game. Lamar got that Mike Vick, he'll have that Mike Vick-esque legend. Mike Vick is still a legend. Lamar will have a longer legend because of the MVPs and just certain other little stuff. Nobody even really remembers McNabb outside of Eagles fans, y'all. And that's real. That's real. Not me trying to be funny, man. It just is what it is. It is what it is, man. Let's listen to what Jalen Hunt had to say today, though. Jalen Hunt was definitely talking from a guy who's on a mission. And shout out my guy, Tom Stakes. I think Tom put the...
I did a lot this summer, just in an effort to learn.
Just talking about it summer.
A lot. I did a lot this summer, just in an effort to learn. So last year, just getting into shape so that I can practice as hard as I could so I can learn as much as I could. And then I learned so much last year that I put into effect this summer. So I'm going to different pass rushing summits. I'm talking to different rushers, top rushers in the league, just picking their brain this year. I went to see them, I went to work out with them, just to know some of the secrets of the trade, you know, so I can use them still a little bit. You know, they say great ones steal, so I'm trying to steal a little bit, pick from everybody's rushing styles, but also find my own. A lot. I did a lot this summer.
You know, I don't know.
To be honest. So last year, just getting into shape so that I can.
I don't know who's going to have to break out year for the Eagles, man. It's really.
I learned so much.
It's really hard to. It's hard to tell at this point who's going to have a breakout year for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I mean, these young guys are so anxious to learn. They're so happy to gain knowledge and acquire knowledge. And I saw Fletcher Cox at the camp today. You know what I mean? Our OGs stick around. Kelsey was there at the first day. You know what I mean? Our OG, you might see a Brian Dawkins sighting. It could be anything, man. Our OGs are just so happy to be in the building and things of that nature, man. You know what I mean? And I respect that. I respect that. I respect that for sure, man. What our OGs bring to the table. Happy to be involved. Just happy, man. Just happy, man. Just happy. You know what I mean? And one thing that I have to, also let be known is that the name don't make the moment in terms of guys for the NFL. You know what I mean? The name doesn't make the moment, bro. The name just doesn't make the moment, man. And shout out to Victor Williams, man. He had an interesting point, and I commented on it. You know what I mean? He says, my only take on this Cam Hurts debate, Cam's best wide receiver in 2015 was Ted Ginn Jr. He probably wins a ring if he has one of A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. However, Jalen repeatedly delivers in clutch moments. KC stopped Saquon in the Super Bowl, and Hurts stepped up. He deserves respect in that regard. But see, I feel like we're being too nice, man. I feel like we're being too nice, and what we want to do is we want to find the out for people that's hating like Cam Newton. I point out that Cam had 2 wide receivers over 70 yards in the Super Bowl. They outgained the Broncos in total yards 315 to 194. Cam Newton was sacked 7 times, losing 68 yards. He also threw a pick and lost a critical fumble. Corey Brown had 4 receptions for 80 yards in the game. That's 20 yards per reception. His long was 42. Ted Ginn had 4 catches for 74 yards. His long was 45. Greg Olsen, who was a 1,000-yard tight end that season, had 4 catches for 41 yards. This in the Super Bowl. That's 3 wide receivers with 4 or more catches. He should have jumped on the fumble. It's as simple as that, bro. It's as simple as that. I hate how we try to mix it up in favor for guys like that. I hate how we try to mix it up. If he had AJ, so if he had somebody with a recognizable name, no, guys step up in Super Bowls all the time. Nelson Aguilar stepped up in the Super Bowl, bro. He stepped up in the Super Bowl. Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar, neither one of those guys were top 5 wide receivers. Why does everybody need a top 5? We won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Alshon Jeffrey wasn't even a 1,000-yard receiver, bro. Alshon Jeffrey wasn't even a 1,000-yard receiver. I don't understand why on God's green earth do we feel so inclined to say that these other guys who had weapons, these guys were bona fide first-round picks, all of this stuff, 15-1 MVPs, we give so much grace to everybody else, but we don't even give grace to ourselves as Eagles fans. We don't even give grace to ourselves as Eagles fans, bruh. We won the Super Bowl against the GOAT on the verge of a three-peat with a backup quarterback, an 800-yard wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, and Nelson Aguilar, who everybody was tired of. Everybody was tired of Nelson Aguilar at some point. And Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz was our leading wide receiver, bro. Are you kidding me? And we won the Super Bowl with that team, but we want to say, if everybody had this, everybody had that. We won our first Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, Alshon Jeffrey, and Nelson Aguilar. Neither one of them had 1,000 yards rushing. But we got to sit up here and give grace to every loser because they don't have this, that, and the third. When all we've been doing as Eagles fans is winning with our back against the wall since day one. Our 2 Super Bowls, y'all, have come in the face of dynasties trying to three-peat. But we got to sit back and play the politically correct game to make everybody else feel comfortable. I'm not rocking like that, bro. I'm not cool. I'm not doing that, man. I ain't doing that, man. I'm not rocking like that. That ain't the mindset of a true Philadelphian. We did it against all odds. They need to go find a way to do it because I'm out of excuses for why everybody else can't do it. I'm out of excuses. And you know what? You haven't heard anybody make this point yet, have you? You haven't heard anybody make this point yet, have you? No, you haven't heard anybody make this point because they can't get this cerebral in terms of why things are the way they are. You know what I mean? A lot of the hate is towards Jalen Hurts. Cool. I've seen the Eagles win Super Bowls when, bro, nobody picked us against the Chiefs and nobody picked us against the Patriots. And we still won the game. So why can't an MVP with a 15-1 record do it? Because y'all want to say Devin Funches was his quarterback. Come on, it's his top wide receiver, whatever. Ted Ginn had 10 receiving touchdowns that year. They had 8 All-Pros. Some on the offensive line, some on the defensive line. They fullback was All-Pro. Jonathan Stewart. I think that was the running back that year. He went crazy. The Panthers led the league in pick sixes. That year. A stingy defense. Peyton Manning didn't throw a touchdown in that Super Bowl. They only scored when Cam Newton turned the ball over and gave him good field position. Josh Norman was one of the most sought out after cornerbacks in the league after that season, yo. So like I said, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. In my opinion, man, now the debate is, who would you rather take, prime Cam Newton or Jalen Hurts? It's so stupid. People don't have anything to talk about. Jalen Hurts not even in his prime. And both of their first 62, at this point, if Cam Newton was in Jalen Hurts' shoes at this point, Cam Newton would only have 2 Pro Bowls to his name. 2 Pro Bowls to his name. Do y'all understand at this point, going into year 6, 62 starts apiece, whatever it is, Jalen Hurts is leaps and bounds better than what Cam Newton was at this point in their career. Completion percentage, touchdown pass, rushing yards per game, efficiency, everything. Jalen Hurts was a way better quarterback than Cam Newton was at this point. Cam Newton didn't have an All-Pro. Cam Newton didn't have a Super Bowl MVP. Cam Newton didn't have a Super Bowl appearance. Who would you rather have, prime Cam Newton or Jalen Hurts? It's the stupidest argument ever. The stupidest argument ever to me. Jalen Hurts not even in his prime. Marcus Williams, thank you for the super chat. When the league needs a dynasty destroyed, they call the Eagles. However, they don't want to deal with the aftermath from the fan base. They don't. I mean, they got to deal with it regardless. They have to deal with it regardless, man. Because, you know, we handle business when our back against the wall. I would never understand it. We handle business with our back against the wall. Everybody else don't. And that's just what it is, man. You know what I mean? But this is going to be a short one, man. I want y'all to enjoy your Saturday, man, for real, man. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. 5th stream of the week, man. I ain't do this. I'm back. I'm back on the grind. The season is coming, and we're going to keep making sure we handling business, man. Got me messed up.